Have you ever wondered why you absolutely thrive in a deep, tight-knit group, but kind of completely shut down at a massive networking event? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly fascinating aspect of human psychology and team dynamics. We're talking about the Relator Strength. We're going to decode this strength layer by layer so we can understand exactly how it operates. Okay, let's dive into this. Our source material today comes from the SwitchOn Strengths framework. It's a system that practically helps teams map out exactly how different personality types function best together to, maximize productivity. What this framework brilliantly does is give us a lens to uncover a person's fundamental attitude toward relationships. Because the relator talent isn't just about being friendly, right? It actually describes a deeply ingrained drive to form, value, and really protect close connections. It's all about discovering how these individuals activate their potential and ultimately thrive in their environments.
So, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The core of a relator. 2. Communication style. 3. Bringing value to the team. 4. Balcony and basement behaviors. And 5. Contrasts and common blind spots.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the core of a relator, exploring the essence.
So the crucial point is that the emotional core of a relator really boils down to this: knowing and being known. For them, a relationship absolutely is not a transaction. It's a profound mutual exchange. They want to deeply understand what makes you tick, and equally importantly, they literally need to feel that they are authentically understood by you. That mutual transparency is their absolute foundation.
We're talking words like loyalty, depth, trust and stability, friendly, caring, authentic, intimate, truthful, transparent. But here's the secret to really understanding this trait. Relators don't just want to sit around and chat over coffee. Actually, scratch that. Picture them pushing a heavy boulder up a steep hill. They actually derive immense pleasure and strength from working incredibly hard alongside their inner circle to conquer a shared goal. They fundamentally organize their whole lives around these close relationships.
Moving right along to Section 2, communication style, navigating their environment. Relators absolutely thrive in smaller, rooted settings where trust is the currency. They love personal, authentic, trust-based conversations in smaller, deeper settings, and they really need that space to discover the talents of the people around them. On the flip side, and this is literally a nightmare scenario for them, if you throw a relator into a massive room of 500 strangers wearing name tags and tell them to mingle, they're going to be absolutely miserable. They hate fake interactions, superficial networking, and large crowds. They crave the authentic, not the artificial, and they just have zero energy for superficiality.
Section 3, bringing value to the team, why you need them.
Like a giant umbrella sheltering a group, every team desperately needs a relator. They provide incredible social depth and transparency. Plus, they have super high emotional intelligence, or EQ. Because they possess that EQ and an impeccable sense of conscientiousness and ethics, they bring this reliable, what you see is what you get authenticity. This means they're all about natural relationship growth. They cultivate an environment where people feel genuinely valued and supported, which is exactly the emotional safety teams need to function at their absolute best.
Now for Section 4, balcony and basement behaviors, the duality.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how directly the positive maps to the negative here. Up on the balcony, healthy relators are caring, trusting, they create safety, they're forgiving and generous, they build trust slowly, but once it's established, they are fiercely dependable. But look at the basement. Because they invest so heavily in trust, when that trust breaks, they are deeply hurt. A betrayed relator will cut people off, find it incredibly difficult to forgive, exclude others, and just emotionally shut down entirely. The very mechanism that makes them such loyal friends is exactly what makes their basement behavior so severe.
Which brings us to Section 5, contrasts and common blind spots, sharpening the focus.
Because building true trust takes time. Relators are highly selective about who they allow into their inner circle. They value depth far more than surface-level interaction. And because their barrier to entry is so high, a common blind spot is that colleagues might initially perceive them as cliquish, closed off, or difficult to approach. But it's not that they don't like people. It's simply that their VIP list is just very, very exclusive.
To see this clearly, let's contrast the relator with the includer theme. A relator says, I'm socially transparent. I invite my friends in. Their focus is internal, right? Protecting and nurturing their existing intimate circle. An includer, however, says, I'm socially inclusive. I invite outsiders in. Their focus is outward, constantly looking at the perimeter to make sure absolutely no one is left behind. It's a perfect highlight of depth versus breadth.
And let's move to and see how this builds when we compare the relator to the woo theme.
which stands for winning others over. The relator's mindset is, I want to get to know more about the people I already know. They want to dig deeper into existing bonds. The woo's mindset is simply, I want to get to know more people. They love the thrill of turning strangers into friends. This is a razor-sharp difference between deepening an existing well and constantly drilling new ones.
Which brings us to our final thought. We've seen that relators are the glue that holds teams together through loyalty, authenticity, and profound emotional intelligence. They absolutely thrive in environments where people are valued over processes. So look at your own teams, your own relationships, and ask yourself this. Are you fostering the emotional safety your relators need to thrive, or are you pushing them into the basement with superficiality and broken trust? Think about that as you take a look at your own circles this week. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.